afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Viewmaster. I'm your host, Tony Monix, and we have...
John, we are going to do Annabelle Comes Home, right?
Yeah.
The latest of the Annabelle movies.
The scariest movie ever.
Yeah, so...
Nah.
Yeah. Well, you judge for yourself, but we'll... right off the bat, they do. They kind of get into that... the action ramps up, right? Right off the bat.
And it's already creepy in the beginning from the time they were in that sorority house.
Right.
It was like a weird atmosphere. They almost had to convince the ladies they were talking to to take the doll. I'm like, let me give this one to my wife. And she explained it, and they left with the doll.
Yeah.
So then they're on the road, and the car breaks down by a cemetery. And
the girls are like, just taking their word for it, like, this doll ain't gonna come back and haunt us, and they're like, yeah. And then they're on the cemetery, and like, there's all those jump scares there, like we were talking about. They set up these jump scares where she's holding the map up, and the window, and then when she puts that map down, like, boom, in your face.
And you thought the action was going to happen right there.
Right, and it doesn't. And they do a great job with that. But they do it several times throughout. Maybe they overused it. I don't know. But either way, they did a great job setting up jump scares that never came. And it kind of was a different take on it.
Well, on that scene in particular, though, I feel like they gave us a good fake.
Yeah.
And then, because something did happen right after that.
Right.
The demons because Annabelle was served.
From the cemetery.
She was a beacon for the spirits.
Yeah.
So she drew out those spirits in the graveyard. And the spirits pushed him in the road, the middle of the road, and he almost got hit by that, I don't remember if it was a truck or a bus.
Yeah, so like some construction dump truck or whatever it was, it was coming by, and the dude's like, something took control of my wheel. Yeah. And when they see the wreck up ahead, you kind of get that same thought, like maybe... Annabelle,
before the cemetery,
before the cemetery, maybe Annabelle had taken over that person's wheel. And
That's what I thought. I thought she caused all of that. That's what I thought.
Right, and so because later on we find out that little girl is Daniela. As far as what they made it seem in the story, and she had quote unquote killed her dad in an accident.
Right.
But maybe Annabelle had also caused that one. I'm not sure how Annabelle was able to do these things and didn't do it to Ed and Lorraine. I mean, she did. She kind of threw Ed in front of a truck or whatever. But so she was kind of picking and choosing her battles there. I'm not really sure how it works or how she even got these abilities. But
then they get home, and after that it becomes a slow burn after that.
Right, the movie slows way down.
They get home, they bless the doll, they bless the I was about to say casket. They bless the
cabinet.
The cabinet that they had her in. They had to do it twice.
Yeah, and that was
an extra layer of protection.
I was reading the actual set, they had a priest come on and bless the set, bless a lot of the actors and stuff and actresses because they were actually like not afraid but kind of concerned for about this kind of stuff, because you start dealing with spirits, it messes with your head too. Like you start thinking, is this stuff real or could it be?
Yeah, I mean, I could imagine how demonic that set would seem if you're I don't want to say if you're religious, but if you're sensitive to those things spiritually. I totally understand. Even I was a little nervous watching that room on TV. I mean, on the screen. So I was like, oh, all right, I see.
So Daniela is the one who kind of gets our story going. She's opening boxes she shouldn't, opening doors, pushing trying to reach her dad's spirit.
Right. And I'm wondering the whole time, why is she so annoyingly mischievous, as I keep saying. But I get it. She was just trying to talk to her dad because she had a survivor's guilt.
Yeah, and she wanted to apologize.
She wasn't able to let it go.
She felt like it was her fault that he had passed. And but then you have Judy, who's the daughter of Ed and Lorraine, and she's seen everything. I mean, at one point she's in there praying because she saw Annabelle, and maybe it was the dress. And she's in there praying, and Mary Ellen comes in and finds her on the floor. It's like, Judy, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And, even at that point, she doesn't tell her. She doesn't tell her parents, even though she talks all the time about how her parents, like to everyone, like, my parents can do this, my parents do that, they've done this, I've seen this, done that. And yet, when her parents ask her, because she keeps seeing this priest around the school, even during the day, like, just walking around, and she's like, and they never explain who this guy is, right? So maybe that's another storyline they could go off of. And with the sorority, maybe they could tell that story, because we don't really know what this doll was haunting those girls in sorority too. So there's a lot of storylines that they could even go, it'd be, because they did a really good job pitching this in the 70s. The outfits, the cars. Right. So maybe they could even go further back, and jump. So. They don't even have to do Annabelle after the 70s.
I really liked how they showed Judy's situational awareness. Like, she knew what to do.
Yeah.
Like, she got in the corner, started praying, because obviously as they showed in the movie, that these spirits are afraid of God. You know what I mean? So a rosary works, or picking up a cross works. It'll bag them off. You know what I mean?
By the way, that was the one that she stuck the cross that monster's head. They never actually explained that one. They did a really good job of telling the stories of all of these things. The ferryman, the hellhound, you know, what they do, the dress, the bride's dress that makes you violent if it, you know. They didn't really explain that one, but that one was actually a pretty interesting looking character, though the one it was well CGI'd obviously, but still like they did a really good job of making interesting looking characters. They didn't look cheap or you know, cheaply done, but yeah, she was well read on what her parents did, and she knew how to react for the most part. You know, at the end of the day, it's like it's you against Annabelle, and she can pop up in your bed if she wants. It's like you don't know how to react sometimes, but
yeah, it was interesting that nobody died, right? So and what that made me think about was I've heard in other movies, right, or I've heard in real life from some people who feel like they saw ghosts. They'll say that some people say that a ghost can't physically harm you. They could probably influence you to be harmed, but they can't do it themselves. I wonder if that was the idea around why nobody died.
Yeah, so none of the main characters actually.
But that chicken died though.
Passed, yeah, and they did a great job. Poor Bob, man, he saw the chicken go out, and all of a sudden he knows that monster's out there, that hellhound. By the way, he smoked that hellhound with a guitar.
Well, Bob's got balls.
Yeah,
so.
But all of a sudden he just sees that chicken disappear out of view. He's like, nope, not today. You know, not today, hellhound. He closed that door on him. But yeah, so they did a great job writing the stories. Also, yeah, you knew the whole time Daniela was gonna die, and then when the bride's dress gets her, you're like, oh, she's gone, and then she didn't, and it came back. So they all make it in the end.
I wonder how she got away. I don't remember how she got away.
They don't explain.
They don't explain how Daniela got away
later on,
and helps close Annabelle in the closet.
Right. So
in the cabinet.
As you know, it's a critic show, so some of my takes on it would be like, why would Daniela, if she had all this belief in her parents, their abilities to be able to do, you know, get through these areas, why would she not count on them? Also, that was kind of a weird hole, but I guess it could be explained, but they didn't.
Right.
Why? Where did Daniela go? Where was she? When, you know, how'd she just pop back up? My biggest hole was all these spirits, right? All these spirits you have, they are released by Annabelle, right? But they're their individual spirits. Like, she's looking for a spirit, but she doesn't want theirs. She doesn't take theirs. So when they lock her back in the case, why do we just assume that all the other ones are back in? So that is another thing, is we believe that they could also make another storyline off that, because maybe the hellhound's still running around there chasing Bob and his chicken.
So yeah, so which one of these characters would you do a spinoff?
So yeah, of all these characters, right, I feel like Judy's has a lot of interesting stories to tell, right? Because she's seen a lot, and already seen stuff with the priest, like maybe some of that stuff. Mary Ellen would be interesting because she's kind of been that strict character who hasn't seen a lot, and maybe something finally does happen. I mean, this kind of happened to her, but, you know, maybe something specifically to her happens. Maybe she starts seeing stuff. I feel like Daniela's story is wrapped up. So with that, I'm going to give the movie 7 out of 10 views. I believe they did a good job telling stories. It's a great storylines, all that stuff. The action slowed down for about 30 minutes there for a second, but it picked up, and they did a good job with the setting up jump scares and keeping people alive just because you didn't expect it. So
I would pick the ferryman because of what he does. He takes your soul to the other side.
Yeah.
You know, you got to pay him. That's why you put the coins on the eyes, and it'll give you this deep religious undertone, I feel like. And I'm a fan of when you mix religion and horror together in the movies. It's just, I don't know, maybe I'm sacrilegious. I don't know. But I'll give it an 8.
8 out of 10?
I'll give it an 8 because, I thought that.
From the Viewmaster himself.
Hey, this guy. But so, because I like a good storyline.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't need a bunch of special effects to keep me captivated. It was just the storyline and the sound effects had me trapped for a good 30 minutes.
Yeah, so that's the thing, is I'd like to know what brought the spirits back, maybe what Judy was seeing, all these different things, what the sorority girls had happened to them, stuff like this. But they did a good job with the outfits, props, pitched it like it was the 70s. There was a fortune-telling TV, and, they were able to change time when they stopped the girl from answering the phone. A lot of great stuff. So yeah, they could go so many ways from this. So 7 out of 10 views for me, 8 out of 10 for Tony. So definitely go check this movie out. You're gonna love it. Let us know what you think about it. Comment, like, subscribe, but definitely talk to us about this movie. Talk to us about the show. Let us know what you think. Give us some feedback. We'd love to hear from you. Also, check out Flick Picks. We're going to release another one. Some great movies are coming out. And so definitely check into Viewmaster. Thanks so much for watching this time with us, and enjoy.